Well, I mean, we have a bunch of great DBs, man. I mean, we have Joe Hayden, who's the best corner in football. You know what I mean? So when you have a chance to go against that every day, I mean, we have to raise our level of play. You know, but it's great because, like I said, they have so much talent over there, and you know, we have a lot of talent on our end too, and it's a learning process. We're learning the offense, they're learning a new defense. So, you know, it's just the competitive nature of both of us to go at it.
What's it like switching teams? You had success with the Bengals. What's it like for you switching teams?
It's a process, man. You know, it's not something I'm not used to coming from Canada and bouncing around like I've had. I mean, but yeah, it's a process to get to know the guys. I mean, that's the most important thing, man. Is, you know, getting comfortable with the guys and the guys getting comfortable with you. That, you know, so everyone feels like a team and feels like they know each other, and it's nothing you can rush. It's just, like I said, it's a process.
Andrew, a couple weeks ago, Brian Hoyer spoke out that he likes your game more and more every time he sees you. And today, Justin Gilbert said he'd rather be covering Josh than you. What does that mean to you when you hear teammates say that stuff?
I mean, man, I'm flattered, honestly, man. You know, I mean, those are two great players, and I think when you do come to a new team, I mean, you want to impress the players around you because those are the guys that see it first. You know what I mean? If those guys were in the media saying I was terrible, then, you know, I wouldn't bode well for my future. You know, but like I said, I'm learning. It's the beginning stages. I still have a whole lot of work to do. You know, but like I said, that is definitely a compliment from those guys.
Hoyer compared you to Wes Welker in the way that you practice. Where do you learn that? Where do you learn to be a guy who can separate himself in practice?
I just, you know, coming from my background and, you know, in situations where you don't get a lot of opportunities, you take every opportunity like it's your last, and, you know, after a while it becomes second nature. So that's just how I work, and that's just how I do things, man. And, you know, Wes Welker is one of those guys that I've looked up to, you know, my entire career. So that in itself is, you know, a compliment. So, you know, I don't know about if I'm Wes Welker yet, but, you know, like I said, I appreciate the compliment.
Are you getting a feel for the role that the slot receiver can have in this offense, and is it a vital one in your opinion?
Definitely, man. I think you know, the way Cal and the offensive staff, you know, draws these plays up, man, it's something that, you know, it kind of, I don't want to say takes pressure off the player, but, you know, I mean, it's the way an offense it should be run. I mean, they put guys in a position to do what's best for the team, and that's good. It takes a lot of pressure off of the players as opposed to, you know, some offensive coaches that are just, you know, say, hey, you know, make this play work, as opposed to, you know, the way Cal and those guys do it, to where they say, okay, we think this, and this will put you guys in the best position to make the plays based off of your abilities. And, you know, I think that's going to be special. So, you know, like I said, I'm just taking it a day at a time and just doing everything I'm told.
How much do you predicate your game on footwork and the quick movements and the shiftiness? It seems like you more than any of the other receivers.
Yeah, I think that's my whole game, honestly. I mean, that's one thing I'm good at. I'm not 6'5", you know what I mean? I'm not 240 pounds, so strength and size, you know, quickness and speed is my game. So it's not a matter of me, you know, tailoring my game to that. It's a matter of that's just the kind of player I am. You know what I mean?
And we haven't talked to you since the Josh Gordon news broke, and I know it's not finalized that he's going to be suspended, but with that hanging over his head, and obviously that affects the entire receiving corps, you feel pressure individually?
I don't think it affects us. You know, I mean, nothing's happened yet. You know, I mean, that has nothing to do with us or what. We don't know what's going on. You know, we're just taking it business as usual. You know, Josh is out there grinding with us every day, and, you know, he's supporting me, I'm helping him, and everyone's helping each other, and that's just how we're going to take it until further notice.
Andrew, Ray Former's mentioned a couple of times he doesn't seem to be really upset. I mean, if Josh isn't here, obviously he would like him here, you know, which has the fans. You know, how can that be? I mean, how do you guys embrace this number one by committee type approach? Can you exist without Josh?
Well, I think in a football team, no matter what, you know, your job is to go out there and do your job the best of your ability, no matter the situation. And, you know, that's football, man. I mean, guys, you know, get hurt. You lose guys all the time. That's the professional football. It's 100% injury rate. You lose guys here and there. So I don't think, to us, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We go in there and we do what we're told, and, you know, we let the pieces fall where they may.
You got enough guys in the room to make plays?
Yeah. Right now we have everybody in the room to make plays. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, there's so much work that needs to be done. You know, we can't rack our brains with a bunch of hypotheticals. You know, we're worried about learning the offense. You know what I mean? And that's where we're going to keep it.
When you look at your career, do you think there's so much more that I can do out there? There's so much production that I have in me?
Yeah, I think so, man. But I mean, every player should feel that way. And I think if you ask all the guys in the locker room, they'll all feel that way. You know what I mean? Second stringers want to be starters. You know, third receivers want to be twos. Twos want to be ones. You know, offensive coordinators want to be head coaches. That's the competitive nature of football. So, of course, I feel like, you know, the more opportunity, the more plays I can make. And I think that's true of a lot of guys.
With rolling out and, you know, the quarterback trying to find you, does it put more pressure on the receivers to extend their routes, do the right thing?
You know, it's football, man. I mean, like I said, some guys, you just got to play to the strength. You know, I mean, I think as a receiver, you know, quarterbacks rolling out and, you know, you getting open. I mean, some quarterbacks are great at throwing on the run. Some quarterbacks are great at finding guys. And, you know, some guys are better in the pocket. You know, some receivers are better at, you know, scrambling, and some people are better at regular routes. I think it's just football in itself and playing to each player.
What's your early impression of the quarterback battle, Brian and Johnny? What have you seen out of both of them?
They both have a lot of talent, man. And, you know, Johnny's done a great job coming in here and, you know, learning as he goes. But it's a process. It's professional football. You know what I mean? So with Brian Hoyer being a professional quarterback for some years now, you know, obviously he knows a little more about the systems and the way things work. And, you know, I mean, you can't come in and ask. It's a lot to ask of a quarterback coming in to, you know, jump in here and be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I said, Johnny's done a great job. He's, you know, paying such attention and he's learning, and you know, you can see the hard work that he's putting in. And, you know, same goes for Brian. Brian is doing the job he's supposed to do as a veteran in this league. And